just be breaking down how much you're investing in. So what subscriptions can you get rid of? You know, how can you spend less in order to have more? Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi, I am Kristen, and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of Taurus season and how to prepare for it and how it will affect you and your Capricorn placements. If at any point in this video you feel like you resonate with me and would like to become a client, you can join the client circle. That link can be found here and also in the bio. I welcome you. And as you guys know, I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So if you haven't already, let me know where you're listening from in the comments and let us all connect and be a strong collective. With all that being said, let's get into this. So Capricorn, this video is for Taurus season and how to prepare for it, what to expect in it, and the energies that are going to be moving through us collectively. When it comes to this video in specific, it's very important, and I wanted to make it, well, I guess in the beginning of the season, whereas sometimes, you know, lately I've been kind of making the season videos midway through. But I really want you guys to do the best that you can to utilize this energy because it is very good to you. So Taurus season for you is about prioritizing pleasure. And you guys have gone through a lot of ups and downs, obviously, throughout the year, and we've been holding each other's hands through all of it. And if you remember what I was talking about in the 6-month reading, where the Ten of Cups has been the overarching theme for you when it comes to the first half of the year, which is you understanding the art of happiness and the simplicity of your life and how happiness finds you within that realm, and how you guys have gone through a lot of losses and also wins, right? But the kind of wins that you didn't know that you actually wanted. Many of you have redefined what it is that you wanted in your career, in your lives, these unexpected victories that you didn't think were going to be the kind of victories that you actually wanted, and they've been finding you. Many of you have gone through transitions in terms of what it is that you want out of partnerships, whether it be love relationships or friendship relationships, family, work environments. You've gone through so much of a 360 because what has been carrying you is this Ten of Cups energy. What does it mean to have joy, happiness? And the idea that, especially for me, the Ten of Cups is always this feeling of not baby with the bathwater, but it's a feeling of understanding joy at its bare bones. I tend to reference it because usually it's associated with love, and I tend to reference it tied to the idea of a couple that is, you know, in their mid-20s and they just got married, and when they got married, they probably just had like a friend wedding, you know, all of the people that are closest to them, and maybe they eloped or something like that. They have very little money, but they have love. They have raw, unadulterated love, and they're sick with each other because they're sick in love with one another, and the love that they have for each other is enough. And now that they're newly married, they found some, you know, beaten down house somewhere, and they put all their money together and they bought it, and it's small and it's broken down and it needs a lot of work, but they have each other. They don't have furniture, they barely have food, and they're eating takeout, but they have each other, you know? So that tends to be the story for me when it comes to the Ten of Cups at its core, you know? The feeling of what does it mean to have bliss? What does it mean to have true joy, right? The joy that is found without the external, but the joy that is deep within the internal, that rushing river of bliss, okay? So that's the energy that's been carrying you, and that's why you've gone through so many changes and the growth and the transformation around this idea of what happiness really is and how it looks different than what you originally thought it did, especially for you guys being pentacle driven. You know, you've had to be broken down in a way where you've understood that happiness looks different than the pentacle that you thought it was going to look like, or the material thing or the external thing that you thought was going to manifest a certain way. And actually what makes you happiest is this thing, or this person or this situation that doesn't look the way you thought it would, because really your ego built up all of these ideas of what you thought happiness would be like. So anyway, so that leads us here into Taurus season. And the amount of work that you've put into stay steady, a lot of you have been tested in terms of your patience, right? Because the ways in which you haven't been able to get what you want has come from healing, you know, being not being able to manifest your desires completely because you've had to go through a refinement process. And as patience wears thin, remember to ask yourself if you were the same person right now in this moment listening to this video that you were even a month ago, and you weren't. Did you believe the same things even a month ago that you do right now? You didn't. So the patience is there for a reason. The test is there for a reason. That wheel is turning slowly because through every single slow turn, you've been refined and changed and transitioned, okay? And now we're looking at this season where it begins with this beautiful Uranus transit, right? So it starts in this way where you're starting to get the gifts, you know, that you've been waiting for, the returns on your investments, the feeling that the chapter that you've kind of been going through, the aftermath of the storm, is actually over in that sense, starting to see the plants grow from the mini flood that took place in your garden, right? And the focus here, like I said, is pleasure. So what does it mean to, and why is it pleasure, right? We're fifth house. So Taurus is Capricorn's fifth house. And your fifth house is about what is fun to you. Again, what brings you pleasure, happiness, children. Sex, but in a way that is not so eighth housey. You know, it's not the dark depths of sex, but more like for the sake of, again, more of a lighthearted, fun kind of energy. It can be parties, anything that is wrapped around the idea of just pleasure. And it's big because it's in, the fifth house is usually represented or tied with Leo. And for you as a Capricorn, for your fifth house to be rooted in Taurus is a part of the reason why you have a deep, deep connection to what it means to feel pleasurable. And it's also something that you tend to like to experience in the practical. So this is where you guys really want the candlelit dinners, the wanting to go out more. And when you go out, especially after all the healing that you've gone through, you're starting to realize what happiness really is to you, what pleasure really is to you, right? Did you, maybe in the past your ego thought that you wanted maybe a grander idea of what, because some of you are getting married, so like a grander idea of what your marriage, what your wedding looked like. And in fact, now you just want it to be very simple and quaint, and wanting it to feel as good as possible more than what it looks like. As we are moving into the summer as well, wanting to kind of, instead of maybe going out with a bunch of people that, in your past actually weren't in your alignment in terms of your soul tribe, now you find yourself maybe with a smaller group of people, or even just wanting to go out yourself and experience, go on a boat ride alone, go kayaking alone, go on a hike by yourself. For those of you who are looking at love as well, you really want the slow nights, the candlelit dinners, the dinner that you guys kind of created together, and it's slow and it's intimate. You really want to feel into things, especially because, you're still in a healing process because of the Pluto transit and the things that have taken place throughout the year. You're getting lighter, your energy is lighter, and you really want to feel good. And all throughout Taurus season, the priority of feeling good is important to you. The universe is meeting you with that as well. You guys will be experiencing good things in the sense of things that you've been waiting for. The book opening, feeling like, oh, I've been waiting for this, or this feels really good. Finally getting what it is that I have been wanting this entire time. Finally feeling like you're getting what it is that you deserve. Beautiful things showing up in your career as well. Taurus season is going to be very good to you in terms of your finances. Kind of feeling like as if, you know, abundance is blossoming out of nowhere, especially if you put in a lot of work during Aries season, and especially from the beginning to, you know, this final week, things required a lot of energy from you. The momentum was high. You started the month in a kind of a low point and ending it in a kind of an energetic, kind of fast run, but the emotions going in and out, your emotions are high. Things felt very good, they felt very light, but then oppositions found you. Similar to what we were talking about in the monthly reading, where the Aries season would be this kind of emotional back and forth, a lot of push, a lot of fire, a lot of kick for you, and then it ends in Taurus season where the energy just feels like it's very peaceful, very flowy, you know. There's something about Taurus season that's going to give you a sense of relaxation. Again, things tied to your wealth. Wealth being a big conversation during Taurus season, but wealth on a multitude of levels. So feeling comfortable more in terms of your finances, but also wealth in terms of your sense of self, your emotions, wealth and love as well. There's a comfort level that is looking to find you during this season, and it's well deserved. You guys have put in a lot of energy and work, and Taurus season is kind of coming in like a bit of a kiss on the forehead and saying it's okay, it was worth it, you know, you're almost done, kind of thing. Because Gemini season is going to feel very different, and it's you closing out a lot of chapters in Gemini season, but that's another time. Right now, as we just kind of focus on Taurus season, it's a very nice energy that is there to kind of make you feel good. And so what I want you guys to do is focus on what brings you pleasure. And this is not just, obviously, when we think about pleasure, we think about, usually the first thing that comes to our mind is physical pleasures, right? That's a big part of this as well, but pleasure in a multitude of ways. What makes you feel the best when it comes to your family dynamics? How do you like to spend your Sundays? What is important to you in terms of the home? Because you're still going through these things in terms of home and family and feeling at home within yourself. Just because we're out of Aries season, this is where the momentum got kicked in and, you know, what was happening with the eclipse. But this is kind of the beginning of the process of getting what it is that you want fully. Because remember, this eclipse energy will follow us for the next 6 months, right up until Aries leaves Chiron. And when Aries leaves Chiron, then it's the end of you guys revisiting this home and family dynamic, the end of the mother wound conversation, and then we step into a different Chiron placement. And that's a whole nother reality, right? But as of now, you're beginning that process of what comfort feels like for you, what these things that have been coming up about home to you. Many of you, it could have been breaking down cultural ideas, right? How have you kept yourself tied to different cultural belief systems and ideologies that did not serve you? How have you kept yourself bound in marriages or divorces that needed to, marriages or divorces, marriages that kept you bound, that then you realized that you actually wanted to get a divorce or you wanted to separate? Different things in terms of wanting to move from where it is that you are. What kind of home would actually make you feel better? And when it comes to love, who makes you feel the most at home with yourself? So all of these things have been just pushing through you subconsciously all throughout the month of April. And Taurus season is the beginning of that journey in terms of practicalizing it. But it starts out very, very well because it's saying, okay, you had the fire and the momentum during Aries season, and Taurus season is kind of, again, a more pleasurable approach to it for day one in that sense. It's like, all right, well, I know what it is that I want, but what makes me feel good? I want to feel it. I want to feel it in my hands. What kind of person do I want to be with? What kind of home is it that I want to have? How can I start to build that around me? Finding the places that I want to be, places that I want to move to, what it is that's running through my mind. Again, kind of a more relaxed approach to cultural bounds or things that were standing in the way when it comes to, again, the mother wound. So it's a more lighthearted, relaxed approach to healing these things because you're looking at the practical steps in order to make them happen, like a very, like stepping out into kind of like stepping out into the ocean when your foot first touches the wave, and it's like a gentle kiss, right? So this is kind of the energy that finds you in terms of the work that you need to be putting in when it comes to this season, because I'm saying that it's pleasurable, but it still requires you to do work, right? And the work that it is that you need to do is focusing on pleasure, really focusing on it. How do you want to make love, really? You know, what do you like to experience when it comes to lovemaking? And also beauty as well, because when we're talking about, and why, Capricorn, you guys like to be so big on your physical presentation in that sense and how you present yourself, is because Taurus does represent the fifth house for you, which is a good combination of Leo and Taurus. And Leo and Taurus together is about beauty and the way you show up in the physical world, and making yourself a more natural like beauty. That's a part of why you guys tend to prioritize that the way that you do. So many of you will find yourself focused on your natural features and how you want to change the way that you look in a way that works more in your favor, how to beautify yourself more, how to feel more pleasurable in your own skin by yourself. A lot of long baths, a lot of I would say roses, right? Moments where you're kind of, and that's what it is that you like to do, right? This can look like many different things, but self-care is a big conversation during this time. And what I want you to do is prioritize that. Start with self-care and how it is that you want to take care of yourself and the things that make you feel good. Back to what it means in terms of love making. How is it that you want to be touched and felt? How do you like to touch and feel others? How is it that you want to feel within your own body or in your own skin? Changing up your rituals, changing up the way that you look, the way that you dress, to feel more beautiful in your energy. So these are things, and that's across the masculine, feminine threshold. This beauty that is finding you goes across that board, and it's just saying, how do you look more, feel more beautiful, because it's a part of what's adding to the feeling of home within yourself. And then also tied to who you're connected with, and romantically especially, because pleasure is a big conversation here, whether you are in a long-term relationship or whether you are looking for one, whether you are in dating situations. You know, you're kind of putting yourself in the driver's seat, and I want you to put yourself in the driver's seat in terms of how you want your dynamics tied to pleasure to go. And how you want to navigate them in a way that best serves you and who it is that you are now, where the new you has been someone that has slowed things down, right? You really want to feel into things instead of them looking a certain way or seeming a certain way on the outside. The breakaway from the materialization, the hyper focus on the crystallization of things. You're now at a space where you understand it from the inside, from the body. And so that desire to really feel and to have who it is that you're connected to, whether it is romantic or whether it is platonic, feel as comfortable as possible. And what better way to begin that than the season of pleasure, right? So I would definitely say enjoy this. Like I said, on your work spectrum, or what it is that I'm sending you guys to do, is pleasure in the spectrums of, yes, the body and the way it relates to others, but the body and the way it relates to itself again, right? And also when it comes to your wealth, focus more on wealth than finances. That's very big for this month. What would increase your wealth? What would increase your wealth footprint, okay? So wealth in terms of how you're enjoying your career, but then wealth in terms of how you're expanding your abundance footprint. So it's not about how much it is, but it's about how much it expands itself. Look at streams of income this month. How can you expand those streams of income? What would make you feel the most comfortable in your life? How much it is that you make add to the way that you live in a way that serves you better? Breaking down, and for some of you it could be increasing your actual wealth, increasing how much money you're making, and for others of you it could just be breaking down how much you're investing in. So what subscriptions can you get rid of? You know, how can you spend less in order to have more, right? That increases your wealth. It's not always about making more money. A lot of the time it's about how you're spending it, where it's going, right? You want to add more pleasure to your life, more comfort to your life. Because remember, the gift of the Aquarian Pluto is giving you the peace that you have been desiring for a very long time. That's the gift there. That's the kiss. And so in order to get yourself there, we're ending with this Chiron placement that is a part of the karma of the past, of the Pluto transit. And it's saying in order to have more comfort, again, the home beginning in the body, you need to put yourself in the driver's seat of prioritization of peace and pleasure. Okay? So I guess that's kind of it. You guys let me know what you're thinking, and yeah, your perspectives and your opinions, okay? So I love you. Ciao.